Welcome to the SAASL podcast, the podcast all about the South Australian Amateur Soccer League news, results, and everything in between. My name's Sebastian Cooper.
And I'm Ryan Smith.
This is, coming up on the show, we give you a rundown of the games of the round. We catch up with all the latest results from round 4 of the SAASL Club Challenge. We chat with Vice Captain of West Beach, Lewis McFadden, after their win over West Adelaide this week. And we catch up what's been happening in the Seas.
Sounds good, mate. So give a little bit of love to the Seas this week.
Yeah.
And do our wrap-up of Match of the Round. Saturdays was Bossa versus USC Line.
Yeah.
So a few highlights happening there. And then Sunday,
I got out to it. West Adelaide Raptors v West Beach down on West Terrace.
We'll get into that shortly. Now, if I was a betting man, if SAASL bet was a thing, probably would have lost a few dollars. I got the West Adelaide scarves together.
Lost a few bucks, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. And you've obviously merched out as well there.
I've merched out. I've actually betrayed my own kin. My family are Scottish, being a Cooper, and when you're from Glasgow, you support one of two sides. Now, I won't mention which side because there's
might upset a few people.
But put it this way: green and white are not my first colours that I choose. But look, and I'm very happy to be wearing an Ingle Farms shirt after their glorious win last week.
Well, they did. They came back and then drew on the weekend.
They're an exciting team to be supporting. So I've got their shirt on today, and I've got my Parafield Garden scarf as well, mainly because it's nice.
Well, you did say last week we weren't going to favour the Ernie Barrett group, but it's just the merch that we've had sent in.
Merch, and that's,
We had one of your favourites, Virginia, send a bit of stuff in through the week as well.
Look, I don't want to say they're my favourites, but,
there is a bit of a love affair going on there.
Well, they've
4 from 4.
4 from 4. So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
We will.
But we should get into game of the round.
We will, which on Saturday was Bossa versus USC Lions. So we've got some of the highlights up on screen shortly. And as a goalkeeper myself, USC Lions goalkeeper was absolutely on fire. So some of the highlights here against Dan Godley's men. Obviously, Dan, goalkeeper himself, head coach of Bossa, would have been pretty impressed with what he saw. Both teams with quite a few chances in both halves there, but it was Bossa that actually got the 2-1 win in the end. USC went ahead first there, 1-0 through a beautiful goal. Both teams again.
Tyrone Owen, it was the goal scorer, who's also the captain for USC Line.
Yep, beautiful. So they would have been up and about very early on, but as it is in a lot of games, Bossa coming back and taking the chocolates there. So
when you've got an experienced side like Bossa, they know how to win, they know how to get it done. I reckon they'd be very happy that they were able to dig deep and come out with the win. Yeah,
look, I mean, Group B favourites, still top of the table there, and look, again, similar sort of sentiments to Adelaide Titans, who got a win on the board on the weekend as well. They're both very, very good teams, USC and Titans, in that Group B.
Yeah.
And certainly showed it on the weekend. Another great save there by the Lions keeper. I was in awe, and I think the comment section was on fire there, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I did. I noticed a few comments. It was Lawrence Dorigo and Darius Banozzo who scored for Bossa. Just mention them.
Was it Darius's goal, the second goal, the little chip over the Chipovic over the Topovic?
Look, I've got to say, that USC Lion keeper, he had quite possibly the best game I've ever seen in amateur football, and yet he still managed to let in a chip.
Look, I'm gonna level with you though, as a keeper.
Yeah.
I mean, to be judged by that one incident all game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a look at the striker when he's actually lining up to take that shot,
he hides it very well.
He does hide it. He looks up, has a look where the keeper is, and over the top. And look, to be fair, I'd actually say beautiful finish rather than.
Fair enough. And as I said, credit to the line keeper because he was just saves all day. All day. It was like, Nick Pope,
we were both
Burnley.
in awe.
Oh, that's it. Against Man City. It was crazy.
So, look, those full highlights available on the South Australian Amateur Soccer League Facebook page there, so you can watch a full recap, including all the goals. We're just seeing that lovely finish there past the keeper, the volley, and again, Bossa running out 2-1 winners. Now, we'll go through the group.
Boss are the only team unbeaten in that group now as well.
Yeah, they go top with 12 points now. So, very, very impressive so far. So, if we turn our attentions to the Freddie Pine Shield on Saturdays, just run through what we normally do with the results there. Modbury Jets continuing their winning ways. So, back-to-back wins there. 4-0 over Salisbury Sharks after their impressive performance against the Red Blue Eagles last week. Red Blue Eagles bouncing back with a 3-1 win over the Pitbulls there, and Villa 2-1 over Fizzy. What we'll do, we'll come through the Saturday results, and then we'll head over to the Sunday match of the round if we're good to go there. Jets continue to maintain their one-game lead there at the top of the table over Red Blue Eagles. Villa and Pitbulls in very close pursuit there. Now, do yourself a favour, get to the Pitbulls social media pages, including Instagram. There's some ripping goals over their last few weeks that they're posting up. So, very well worth a look if you've got the chance.
A lot of these clubs have got their social media really down pat. I really like it, and I love jumping over to their socials and seeing their goals and seeing all their funny videos that they chuck up.
No, it helps as a fan to follow the game, and I think the amateur games really sort of evolved a lot with the advent of social media and digital and that. So
100%.
Very good. Coming through, Bossa, as we spoke about, 2-1 over USC. Adelaide Titans getting that 3-2 win over Adelaide Uni. So, again, not struggling to find the back of the net there at all. So, another 3 goals there to George Katz's men. And MA Hawks, again, 3-1. They scored 3 goals, both Titans and Hawks last week, both getting the 3 points. Heading a look at the table here, Bossa, again, 5-point lead at the top. And then there really is a logjam between second and fifth. They'll give Adelaide Uni a bit of a chance to get back into the race. Anyone there could really take it.
Uni have got a big test up against second place Lion, and then Bossa have got a chance against MA Hawks to extend that lead.
Yeah, both games are going to be very, very, very interesting to see how they pan out, and both have massive implications for the group.
Indeed.
At the halfway stage. Group C, Murray Bridge, like I said last week and the weeks before, the real sleeper team. And we're going to have a look at the table shortly, but 2-1 win over Flinders. So Flinders putting up a bit of a fight. But ultimately going down away from home. St. Peter's 4-0. Now, I did coin this the Clean Sheet League going back a month ago.
You did.
St. Peter's haven't conceded. 4 rounds in, have not conceded a goal. And Old Ignatians, a 4-0 win over Stirling District away. Now, Iggy's have only conceded the 1. And they're both tied up the top on 10 points. So, going to be very interesting. It probably explains a lot. They were the match of the round in round 1. Both haven't... Well, Iggy's have only conceded 1. St. Peter's haven't conceded, and that's why we got the 0-0 draw, I think, round 1. So
this is actually this is the first time we've seen some proper big scores from this group as well. A couple of 4-0s. Your top scorer, Julian Titaro, only got 4 goals. There's 3 of them at the top: Nick Penta and Matthew Congetti. I'm going to say all 4 goals. So not a huge amount of scoring. This is the first week we've had a couple of big scores from that group.
Beautiful,
very tight.
And you can see there Murray Bridge coming in there, probably one of the better third-place teams from across the divisions there, and then Sturt Marion a little bit away from the big leaders as well. Group D, Elizabeth Grove versus Gleeson. Now, I had this pinged for one of my matches of the round.
And obviously, it turned out to be.
Well, look, Sean Clark was kept quiet, 3 hat-tricks in a row. And
had to stop sometime.
Yeah, that's it. And it happened on the weekend, unfortunately. Yanni Nestoris, he continued his scoring form with a brace in that 4-2 win for Gleeson. So, again, they'd be pretty happy with that. But again, I do believe it will be between those two moving forward. One Tree Hill, though, 6-2 winners over Adelaide Dragon, and then haven't had the result come through for the remaining game. But if we have a look at the table there, Gleeson at the top, One Tree Hill in second place there, and evenly spaced back out to Grove and Dragon. But look, I mean, if you're having a look at sort of the goals scored and against there, it's going to be quite interesting over the next couple of weeks.
Quick question: How many teams go through at the top of the group?
Yeah, so it's the top two teams from each group, and then it's the best third place teams from the next 4 best third place teams. Right. So still important, even if you do sort of pop into third place there. Goal difference, all that sort of stuff.
To sneak in, absolutely.
Absolutely. Moving across now, we've got Group D action. Adelaide Pumas, 2-1 winners over Croydon Cougars. Prince Alfred securing a 1-0 win over Monarchs. And East Adelaide continue their decent form with a 1-1 draw against Adelaide Blue Eagles, probably wanting the win there. But walking away with the point would have extended their lead to a full game at the top of the table there.
That's Group E.
That is Group E, sorry about that. So East Adelaide up the top there, 8 points. But if you have a look all the way down to 5th spot, really there's only 2 points in it between first and second last.
Yeah, tight group. Probably anyone can take it from there, to be honest. Adelaide Blue Eagles are going to have to work hard, but the rest definitely got a chance.
Everyone's in with a bit of a look. Moving across to Group F now, and Southern Breakers 3-0 winners against McLaren Districts, and South Coast United at home getting a 5-0 win over Cellar Dwellers Harndorf. Old Ignatians there with the bye. South Coast United go to the top, or are at the top of the table there with 9 points. Southern Breakers in second, tied up with Paul Barolo's boys there on 6 points as well. So smaller group, going to be interesting to see how that one pans out, especially for second place moving forward.
Definitely.
So Sunday League, match of the round, and you got out to that one as well.
I did. West Adelaide Raptors and West Beach at West Terrace. So was it Kingston Gardens?
Yep.
Exciting game. Tell you what. It was just like I went down there, sun's shining, no clouds, perfect game, and you can feel the atmosphere on the touchline. The local fans are they got around it. I tell you what.
Now, like I said, I probably would have, if I had a cheeky bet before the game, West Adelaide.
Chucked it on West Adelaide.
Well, they're carrying a bit of form in, but West Beach are a pretty handy side as well.
This was a top of the table clash, and these two apparently they've sort of generated a bit of a rivalry in the last couple of years.
Yep.
It was good football. It's exactly what we got. Things started really tight. There's no super clear chances for either side early, but both sides looked dangerous in attack. Plenty of width and pace from both sides, and they both had chances from set pieces that were put high or wide. West Beach were unfortunate not to go into the main break ahead when Lee Sinnott had his penalty kick denied expertly by the Raptors keeper, who dived left early. So this is anticipating and going early, and it paid off for him.
Well, I did. We'll see it on the highlights soon, but I wasn't really struck to a corner. Really, wasn't it?
No. It wasn't a perfect penalty, but you've still got
great save. You got to stop him.
Absolutely, you've still got to be on it to save a penalty. In any case, as the second half wore on, the game really opened up, and Beach really worked hard to carve out more chances. West Adelaide still had chances going forward, but West Beach really defended really solidly at the back there. And West Beach were rewarded for their hard work. 65th minute, they went 1-0 ahead thanks to Lee Sinnott, who made up for his missed penalty, latching onto the end of a low cross to side foot home at the back post. Raptors played a really tough brand of football, and they worked hard for an equaliser. And there were plenty of nervy moments for keeper Maurice Hewson. However, Beach were on hand to expose West Adelaide's overcommitment and find an equaliser. And it was Fionn Nally who found the ball on the 18-yard line to fire home to make it 2-0. Fionn, it's an Irish name. Fantastic, by the way. From then on, West Beach really tried to shut up shop, and they defended really, really tough. West Adelaide's frustration really showed, to be honest. Six individual yellow cards, a lot for a bit of argy-bargy, which is a bit of white line fever, which is always good to see. However, Lockie Hewson, unlucky for the young fella at West Beach, was sent off for a second bookable offence for going off the pitch to tie his laces. So a little bit unlucky. A little bit of time wasting, to be honest. Anyway, the tight last 15 minutes, and Raptors thought they had a chance. They finished sweetly. It was a low cross finished sweetly from Spiro Koulianis. He didn't score. He assisted. The West Beach defence managed to keep Spiro quiet. 9 goals in 3 games. Unfortunately for old Spiro, no goals for him. Beach worked hard.
I was just seeing the beach goal there, number
which
10.
One, first one or second one?
Was the second one.
Yeah.
Just up on screen there. Now, you have a special guest on the line.
I do have a special guest on the line. I said one of the chief architects from the last win. This was the vice captain for West Beach, Liam McFadden. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, how you going, guys?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good.
Congratulations on the win over the weekend. How was it feeling to get one up over the rivalry?
Oh no, it was really good. It was a good performance from everyone in the team, and we were given some instructions from the coach, and I'm sure he was pretty pleased. We executed them really well, and obviously come out with a win. So, yeah.
Now, as I was saying before, Spiro Koulianos has got 9 goals in 3 games. How did you were happy with the way that your defence stood up?
Yeah, well, we obviously know he's a good player and he scores lots of goals, so he's someone that we take notice of. And going into the game, we didn't do too much planning about it. We just know that he's a prolific goal scorer, so you sort of pay him a bit more attention than some of the other guys that you normally play against. So, and the other two strikers or wingers for them are the same. We know they're both dangerous players as well, so that was a bit of a instructions from the coach just to make sure the 4 defenders are doing their jobs and defending and not pushing too far forward, because they're pretty fast, and it only takes one little slip up and they're in through on goals and they can take advantage.
That's 4 wins in 4 for you guys. You happy with how you've started the year, obviously?
I think result-wise, yes. I think our coach Lee's been a bit wanting us to perform a little bit better in some of the games. You know, we've most of the games we've just been sort of making hard work of it. You know, we've probably controlled some of the games and most of the play in the games we played, but we're just a bit slow, a bit sluggish, probably from coming off the break and not being able to execute exactly what he wants. And, you know, he's had to give us a rev up a few times over the last few weeks. So, yeah, result-wise it's been good, but performance-wise I think we've still got a little bit to improve on.
Now, you just touched on, obviously, that sort of motivation and fitness aspect of it, and it's a sort of question we ask all the players and coaches, being a very interesting, and I'm not going to say it, well, I will say unprecedented season. Hate that word. How have you guys sort of managed to stay sort of motivated, fit together? Is there sort of things that you've done a little bit differently this season compared to others?
Yeah, well, we were sort of lucky. One of the guys he's on the committee and plays as well. He took it upon himself to create like a little bit of a spreadsheet and a bit of a running challenge over the break. So there was about 20 or so guys were involved in that. And so you'd enter your times. I think it was like a 4K and an 8K sort of time trial, and it was a bit of a competition in the break. So running individually and just entering your times and making a bit of a competition of it. So that sort of helped in the break. And then coming back into the season, most of the guys are pretty competitive and are keen to get back to playing football. We've actually had more people come out to training now than we've ever had before. So
well, that's a good problem to have, yeah.
Especially considering he's got you running. Now, your next game is Noarlunga United, who are sitting third or equal third with Seaford. Without giving too much away, what's your plans for to keep Noarlunga at bay?
It's always we've always found it probably difficult going up there. The last few games we played away to Noarlunga, I think we've lost and drawn, and we even had a bit of an advantage last time we went down there with numbers-wise. They had a guy sent off, and so I think the coach is probably going to come in during the week and give us a bit of a rev up and say that the result last week won't mean nothing if we don't go down there and get a good result. So they got a couple of good, strong players around the ground, so just obviously following his instructions, and I'm sure he'll come up with a bit of a game plan for us going into the game.
Absolutely. Well, mate, congratulations on the win. Certainly well-deserved based on the highlights. Looked like a very hard-fought game, so congratulations to yourself and the West Beach boys there. And, all the best this week against Noarlunga.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
No worries. Thanks for coming on. Alrighty.
So should we get straight into Sunday League results?
Let's do it.
Sunday Group A, Port Pirie, Savoy and Elizabeth Vale. Vale had a huge comeback win over Savoy. They were flying at half-time thanks to a brace to Jack Scoot. Scoot's got 8 goals and 4 now. So
you got to feel sorry for Savoy. I mean, that's 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. And do you know the worst thing is they just can't stop scoring goals.
No.
They score goals, and I guarantee they'll find a way to get the job done at some point this year.
Now I noticed Vale went up on the Saturday, I think, to play them in. We had Craig Laird's report, so it's always good when you can go up there on a Saturday, stay, get to know the locals, and then make the long drive back on the Sunday.
The long drive back. Well, Port Pirie, I would be driving up on the Saturday, to be honest. Yeah, no, Vale fought back second half, equalised through 2 goals from Michael Francis, and Dave Westall grabbed the winner late to complete a massive comeback for them. In the Resi, Savoy beat Elizabeth Vale 2-1. Elizabeth Downs had a big win over Para Hills West, 6-0. Big win for Downs to keep them at the top of Group A. Hat-trick for Josh Farrell. And in the Resis, Downs also got the chocolates with a 3-2 win. Salisbury Inter.
No, just hold you up there. Just,
hold me up.
Having a look at the the permutations for the group there, with regards to the last set of results on the weekend. So Downs goes top.
We've still got one more to go. Yeah, the draw with Salisbury Inter and Barra Hills East was 1-1.
I got you early. Sorry, mate.
That's okay.
Jumped the gun.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but
go for it, mate.
No. Go on. As you said, with the table.
No, look, I was just about to say, and probably take the words out of your mouth there, that Eastie's draw with Inter obviously massive result for.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty happy with that. And in Salisbury is Inter is scoring goals. Which it's only a matter of time now before they get a win. They got a couple of draws now, which will give them a bit of momentum moving into next week.
Correct.
And Eastie's got the win in the Resis 4-1. Sunday Group B, Parafield Guards and Garn Kilburn played out a 0-0 draw. Garn missing quite a few opportunities in the second half, according to Coach Desmond Tucker. Thank you to Craig Laird for his comments. And then Guards and Kilburn played out a 1-1 draw in the Resis. And so Parafield dropping the points for the first time in that game. Now, on to you. Adelaide Croatia and Ingle Farm, 2-2 draw. A couple of goals for Jaden Gligorich. Once again, thank you to Craig Laird. You guys have been a bit of a surprise packet for Group B, according to
apparently so.
Lairdy.
Apparently so. Well,
comfortably sitting fourth.
Yeah, look, went into the break 2-1.
Second, after 4 matches.
Yeah, went into the break 2-1 up, and I mean, look, after watching Ingle Farm last week come back from 3-0 down,
proud of that result.
Yeah, look, always knew, especially at home there, they're always a tough opposition.
Absolutely.
But I mean, both teams had chances to take that one late in the game. So yeah, look, I think fair result in the end. So
coming up next week, you got the Group B litmus test in Brahma Lodge.
Huge game. Apparently, match of the round. So looking forward to that. So hopefully, get a decent attendance out to our home game, and all those highlights are going to be obviously on the SAASL Facebook page.
Exciting news for the Resis. 2-1 over Ingle Farm. That's the first win for Croatia Resis this week.
First points as well. Absolutely.
Very exciting for them. 2 goals for Mladen Bralo, which is a brilliant name, by the way. A lot of fantastic names in this league. And
Ingle Farm's free kick in that game to take the lead early on was absolutely beautiful as well. So, some good goals.
Oh, fantastic. Brahma Lodge, speaking of which, got a 4-0 win over Tea Tree Gully. A couple of goals for Chad Bujaya. He is on fire this season, setting up goals, scoring goals. Regular Heung-Min Son.
He's class, and look, coming up against that sort of opposition on the weekend is going to be a really good test.
Well, they're 4 wins from 4, so it should be a tough game. Gully and Lodge playing out a 2-2 draw in the Resis.
And I mean, having a look at the table there, obviously Brahma 4 from 4, only conceded the 1 goal, so really strong. Ian Fife playing in the back lines there for Brahma Lodge. But I mean, look, you go all the way down to Parafield Gardens, and everyone's in with a shot.
Yeah, I don't think there is apart from Brahma, who have played, who have managed to win without playing exceedingly well a couple of times, I don't think there's a clear second team there.
No,
so,
group of death, like we said earlier.
Indeed. Sunday Group C, Seaford got a 2-1 win over Noarlunga, brace for David Williams. So in the Resis, it was a 3-2 win for Seaford as well. Jackson Holt with a couple of goals. West Beach, as we said before, got the 2-1 win over West Adelaide. I chatted with Lee Grogan, the coach. He said we showed discipline, tenacity, and when we had the ball, we played our game. West Adelaide were dangerous, especially in the first half. We've played each other a couple of times in the last few seasons, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. Boys got on top early in the second half and didn't give them the space to play, and that allowed us to play our brand of football. Our captain Connor O'Sullivan and James Ralston at the back were outstanding. The boys did absolutely everything I asked them to do today. So good on them. West Adelaide got a 2-0 win in the Rezzies. Southern Knights, big 7-2 win for Plinton Bulldogs. This is a big win for the Knights. Hat-trick for Dylan Torr. This is a huge response after getting smacked by Noarlunga last week. So a really good turnaround for them.
Yeah, they're a better team than previous weeks have really showed.
Yeah, so that's really good for them. The Bulldogs got the 2-0 win in the Rezzies. Sunday Group D, SBS with an enormous 7-4 win. This sounds like a crazy game. 7-4. What's that?
Cricket score.
Cricket score. 11 goals in one game. Hat-trick for Anup Singh and 2 for Jashanpreet Singh.
Here's a little bit of trivia for you. Now, I could be wrong. Don't know if it was 2013 or 2014, but he was Sunday Division 4 Player of the Year. So there you go. So if everyone, who wants to be a millionaire and that comes up as a question, what year did Anup Singh take Player of the Year? I reckon it's 2013.
Look, if you want, you can go back to the 13-14 yearbook. As we know, on the Facebook, the SAASL website, they've been putting up the last few seasons' yearbooks, which is all
published.
so you can check those out and look for your name and stuff. It's not often you score 4 goals and still get beat, so you've got to feel for Andrews Farm. Anthony Cock and Lee Hockridge both getting 2 in a losing effort, so sad times for them. SBS got a big 6-1 win in the Rezzies. Now, as we said before, Virginia United, 4 on the trot, tight 1-0 win over Angle Vale. Very exciting for them. Looking forward to chucking on their scarf
wearing a bit of their
week.
kit. So
Yes.
we'll grab that from HQ midweek and make sure it features on the show.
Yeah, if I get a bit of time, I might actually have to pop up to Virginia. This is a bit of a drive, but it's worth it to see it.
Well, no pressure, but every time I've asked for merch and received it midweek, hasn't been a good result. So I don't want to put the mockers on anyone, but
don't jinx anyone, mate. That's just evil.
Mate, the podcaster's curse.
Commentator's curse, yeah. Anyway, Mano Para, big win. In the Rezzies, 2-1 for Angle Vale it was. Mano Para, 4-3 win over Maywan. City maintained their spot atop of Group D on goal difference. 2 goals for Nadir Nasiri in a losing effort. And then in the Rezzies, 5-0 for Mano Para.
Having a look at the table, both Mano and Virginia there, 4 from 4. 2 games away from Vale. So look, fair bit of work for the Foxes to do to catch up there.
Yeah, I think so. Although, as we said, anything can happen, I think. Yeah. So, Sunday Group E, Roe Park back to winning ways against Payne and Postel. 2 goals for Dean Cottrell, so good on him. Roe Park also got the win in the Rezzies 4-2. Sean Jiggins, 2 goals for him. Metro Stars got a 3-1 win over Macedonia. It was a comfortable win, I think. They were ahead at halftime and then got the job done in the second half. Metro Stars got a big win in the Rezzies 6-1. Modbury 2-1 over Para Hills United, and then in the Rezzies 2-2 was a draw.
And how we're seeing that group shape up. Roe Park ahead there, 10 points at top, plus 18 goal difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the high scoring. They got the 6-0 win over Modbury a couple of weeks ago, the game I went to. So, no, they were held 1-1 last week. So, good, exciting for them to get back to winning ways. And then we'll go to Sunday Group F. So, AKFC played out a 2-2 draw against CFC, and they almost matched it in the Rezzies with a 3-3 draw. So lots of goals over at AKFC. Eastern United got a 3-0 win over Unley. Another goal for Adam Seychelles following up from his hat-trick last week. So he's in a bit of goal-scoring form. And Unley United got the a 1-0 win in the Rezzies. Adelaide Great Wall continuing their dominance in Group F with a 4-0 win over Athelston. 4 different goal scorers in that one, including one for Luca Keckers. Mm-hmm. Both Keckers brothers earning themselves a place in the referee's book as well. As you said, running things around there at Great Wall. And a 5-1 win over Athelston. There was 3 penalties in that one in the Rezzies.
Okay.
So there you go.
There we go. And if we have a look at the table there, Eastern United occupying second space. Great Wall, like we said, 4 from 4. CFC, Unley United, a little bit of work to do. Not too far out, but you'd hope that they'd start putting some wins on the board there.
Yeah, it'll be a tough gig, I think, for anyone to beat Great Wall now. Mm-hmm. I think they've probably got that one sewn up so far.
All stitched up. Now, obviously, we did say last week we wanted to give a little bit of a shout-out, a little bit of a feature to the Super Cs of the league. To the
Super Cs and single teams.
Indeed. So we're going to whip through these now. So we're going to start off with Saturday Group A in the Cs and single teams feature there. Adelaide Red Blue Eagles continuing their fine form across all 3 grades. They're at the top of the table there. Gleeson as well backing up their solid results so far, occupying second. But this group is clearly wide open. We've got the 2 Jets teams, Salisbury Sharks, One Tree Hill and Pitbulls there. All not out of it just yet. Obviously those, One Tree Hill and Pitbulls wanting to get a few wins on the board soon to catch up, but really anyone's game from second down to 5th there. Going through the leaders, Jamie Byrne from Modbury Jets leading the scorers charts across the league with 5 goals. Daniel McKenzie from One Tree Hill with 4. Jack Richardson there with 3 goals. And Julian Esposito from Gleeson with 3 goals for the campaign so far. Heading over to Group B Saturday, Bossa backing up, again, the club's efforts across the grounds there, 4 from 4. Adelaide Wanderers in second place with only 1 game dropped. And then a little bit further behind the pack, we've got the Cobras, Titans, USC Lion, and then Adelaide Uni there. Daniel Delaverde, 5 goals for the Cobras, so things going well there for him. Mm-hmm. Patrick Lewis with 4 goals for the Wanderers. Wanderers as well with James Harding with 3 goals, and Peter Collis and Brody Newbury from Bossa with 2 goals apiece there as well. Going through to Group C, East Adelaide topping the table there, only just over Bossa there and St. Peter's, so very, very, very close at the top. Prince Alfred only a game away from top spot there in 4th. We've got Brothers United and Adelaide Pumas slightly off the middle of the pack there. And USC Lion really rounding out that group. We've got Joe
and Prince Alfred are up against each other next week, so big clash. And then East Adelaide have got a chance to extend their lead at the top with the game against USC Lion.
That will be an interesting game indeed. Joe Tasovac, 5 goals for Bossa. Nabin Pun, 5 goals for Brothers United for their campaigns. Duncan Soang, 3 goals for East Adelaide, and Joseph Carey, 3 goals there for Prince Alfred so far this season. Moving across to Group D on Saturday, Old Iggy's there, dropping a game, but actually not dropping a game. They've got 3 wins and a draw for 10 points. Strathalbyn Strikers looking really good this campaign too. They're sitting second. And then we've got Aldinga Sharks, Sturt Marion, Flinders Uni and Stirling. All only a game out really from third spot.
It's nice to see these sort of single teams, Aldinga and Strathalbyn, coming in and playing their own brand and getting results in the sort of against the big Adelaide teams, which is nice to see.
Yeah, so big shout out to those guys for obviously putting a very competitive team out in the park there.
We might have to go for a bit of a road trip and catch up with some of these country teams.
I think we might have to. That might even be a little special midweek. Yeah. We'll have to work on that. We'll brainstorm off air.
Mid-season road trip.
Absolutely. Look, and heading up the scorers charts there for Group D, we've got Lockie Stifle, 6 goals for Sturt Marion. Ahmed Alawari from Flinders with 3 goals. Matthew Paradiso with 3 as well. Noah Radisic from Old Ignatians with 3, and Thomas Salbury 3 goals for Aldinga Sharks as well. And throwing over to the Sunday Seas.
Sunday Seas and single teams. Group A, North Zone 1. After 4 rounds, Salisbury, Inter and Elizabeth Downs sit on top of the group, both with 3 wins and a loss. Salisbury just ahead on goal difference. Inter occupying top spot courtesy of a goal difference of 10. A lot of that will be down to a big 6-0 win over Anglevale. I think that was last week or the week before. 4 goals to Andrew Andermar in that game. He's got 5 goals in 4 so far. He's second only behind Sam Johnson, who plays for Downs. He's top of the scoring charts. He's got 6. From here, the group tightens up. Barossa United, Munno Para both sitting on 7 points. Parra Hills West with 6 and Downs, second team, hanging in there with 4. Easties and Anglevale are going to have to dig deep if they want a chance to progress after 4 rounds. Barossa United, just up on their own, up in the Barossa, with a chance to stake a claim for top spot this week when they face Anglevale.
Well, what a road trip that'd be.
Yeah.
If you got them on a Saturday, that'd be good.
Well, as we were saying, getting a Stein down at Harndorf, we'll have to get on the,
a couple of Redders on a Sunday for a few Seas games.
Yeah, get on the Schwally after the win in Barossa. Group B, Modbury sit atop Group B with 3 wins from 3. They've already had the bye, which is useful to have runs on the board already to be atop after your bye. Another really tight group. The next 4 teams are separated by 2 points. Tea Tree Gully, Ingle Farm and Tea Tree Gully 1, Ingle Farm and Modbury all recording double-digit wins over Tea Tree Gully 2, who unfortunately are looking like the whipping boys of the group at the moment. Ingle Farm's Dean Kenrick leads the goals in Group B, thanks largely to a staggering 10-goal effort against Tea Tree Gully 2. 2 big matches coming up this weekend. Second place Ingle Farm go head-to-head with third place Parafield Gardens, and Modbury will look to consolidate their spot at the top when they come up against Tea Tree Gully 1.
Yeah, big games there.
Yeah, Roe Parker and Danger being left behind with the bye this week, so they're going to have to dig deep in the next couple of weeks if they want to stay in contact with the top 3. Group C, Adelaide Vikings sitting very comfortable up at the top with 4 wins from 4 with a goal difference of 21. Very few goals conceded and lots of goals scored over at Vikings. West Beach and Kingston are following close behind though on 9. This is the biggest group of the Sunday competition. They've got 8 teams in all, and we've got really 2 distinct groups starting to 4. You've got a top 4 and a bottom 4.
Yep.
And as we said, early wins count a lot in the truncated season. West Adelaide have had a surprisingly slow start, considering where their first and second teams are. This is a really exciting group, though. Really high scoring, multiple teams scoring more than 5 goals in games. Westwood played out a 4-4 draw with ETFC last week, which was 3-1 to Westwood at halftime. Tan Nguyen has found some goal scoring form early. He has 8 goals for Westwood, including a big 5-goal effort last week against Plympton. Adelaide Vikings aren't having trouble finding goals either, though, with 7 players scoring more than 1 goal, including Abraham Arok, who has 7.
Impressive.
Yeah, there we go. So the Seas is a bit of a crazy competition.
Well, I mean, I think the belief really is, I mean, if you've got a Seas team, it's your club starts to really, pick up a bit of momentum. It's if you've got the amount of players that you need to form a Seas team, they really become heart of your club. So for us, it was important to cover it off for you guys this week and
absolutely
let you know you're loved and appreciated across there.
It's a good chunk of the league, especially in our singles teams as well, coming in from Barossa and Strathalbyn, and these are places. These are they've got to travel a long way to get to some of these games. So a really big effort, and you guys definitely deserve a mention.
Big shout out. So we'll try and loop back around, I suppose, towards the end of the season. We'll keep an eye out if there's anything that pops up or makes mention. Or, like we say, send us your merchandise, Strathalbyn, Aldinga, Vikings. I mean, how good would that be, Viking?
Oh, the Viking
Viking hat, yeah. That's it. Again, brainstorming for off air. But no, look, guys, if you got more stuff, send it in. We'll obviously wear your merch on air, give you a bit of a shout out as well.
Have you got any questions as well? Any questions about how we're going, what we're doing? If you want us to come out and say hello, if you want to have a chat on air with us as well, we've got space in the podcast, and we talked to the SAASL about this. They specifically wanted us to talk about the history of some of these clubs and celebrate clubs of the past, because this is a league that's really quite old, and it's had a lot of history and a lot of champions, and we'd love to talk about it. So get in contact and we'll have a chat with you on air.
Absolutely. Talking of champions, I'll see you next week, Seb.
Just before I go,
yes,
Sports TG.
Yes,
it's like I'm whipping a dead horse here, but
the numbers.
Yeah, numbers. Get your numbers on the backs of the shirts. It just gives us a chance to give you a shout out. It's fiddly, but do it if you can.
Fantastic. I'm Ryan Smith.
I'm Seb Cooper.
And this has been the South Australian Amateur Soccer League podcast for Round 4. We'll see you next week.